About what happens in one of those.
How's it going, everyone? Welcome back up north. But today, once again, we're going down south to Alabama with our guest, Jason Huffman, a.k.a. Shaman711.
How's it going, gentlemen? Jeff, how's your day, sir?
Busy. Been doing flooring, so I'll be sore tomorrow. Working on the floor like that on concrete isn't really too fun.
What sort of flooring?
Just vinyl click together plank.
Yeah, that shit's aggravating. Yeah,
it is.
Especially if it's the cheap shit, man. If it's the cheap shit, I've walked away from a job because that shit it just does
no.
not
This stuff's pretty good. It's we've used it before, and it's pretty reliable. So easy to put in, but just hard on the knees.
Yeah, it is perpetually. The knee pads exist for a reason, as I learned.
Yeah. Isaac. Oh,
how you doing, Isaac?
Yeah, doing well. Happy to be back. My back already hurts just hearing Jeff mention that. I can remember back. That stuff is finicky. You have a little unlevel spot, man. It just finicky stuff.
Oh yeah, SBL.
I know it's not the flooring stream, but good to see everybody.
Bang! Shit.
Yeah. We'll do a construction podcast.
Good to see you guys. Good to see everyone in the chat too. So I'm happy.
Brilliant to see
if
you.
We're having technical difficulties as well, so
it's gonna happen.
Yes.
We have Mrs. CMS in the chat.
Hey, Christine, thank you for stopping in. Right. How are you? Doc, call her Doc. She's your evening work, right? She's probably at the work saving lives right now. Nice. You know, got us in her ear.
Nice.
She has her own YouTube channel. If you're into home gardening and herbs in her spare time, she just click on whatever she's playing here with. Yeah. All right, there you go. There's your PR, Doc.
Yep.
I'm at work. Told you.
I'm a big fan of oregano. It's
oregano.
Take that oil for everything. It's great stuff. Herbs are great medicine. Yes.
Yeah. Gonna start doing.
There is so much medicine, man, and I learned in landscaping just the medicine that's in front yards here in the U.S.
Dandelions.
Yeah.
Really? You just whack them down. Call it a day.
I know, same. But while you're tossing their body on the pyre, it's good to learn. Oh, that should have saved my life if I'm ever,
Well, yeah, we got a few people rolling in here, so we got drink.
Yeah, we'll hang out for a second. I'm gonna get my second cup of tea in me here. Yeah,
we got possibly Andy's gonna hop in at some point, so we'll see.
Yeah. Paul? Yeah, I had quite the day too. So I'm a little. Hey, boss, what's up, Ricardo?
Great night,
Ryan. What's up, dude? Yeah, I had a long day myself. Got involved this morning. Just filling a little air here for us while we wait on folks. It started with I could tell a young mother because she had her daughter in the stalled vehicle with her. They're in the middle of the road and they're stalled out. And you always just check these scenes, right? You may or may not fucking stop. You're on your way somewhere. But as I looked, there were two old gentlemen standing next to the car, and I could tell they'd already stopped to try to help. And they just had a confused, bewildered look on their face, And I was like, all right, wheel around here and see what's going on. And that led, of course, to an adventurous day. I have some friends that know how to fix cars, and it turned out, she needed some stuff done, because we've got an anomalous potentially snowstorm hitting here in Alabama. I know Jeff up there.
Really? Yeah.
You laugh at me when I say 4 to 6 inches, but
that's actually a lot down there.
In a world where we don't keep plows and salt for any reason, right?
4 to 6, that's about average.
Yeah, I know, but here, it slows us. It fucks shit up pretty bad for like a day or so. So we had to get these people, where they needed to be cared for. So yeah, been a long running day of. There we go. You got?
I don't
Oh,
know.
25 centimeters of snow. They're in Canada. She's
Yeah,
What's that in
centimeters. I
freedom
don't-
units? That's what I want to know.
How many eagles is that?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, no, they're calling 8 to 15 here. So
See, that's wild.
Yeah.
My youngest daughter, Charlotte, she's upstairs and she has a memory from, being young. We had one of those 3-inch snowstorms, which are kind of rare. And so she's got that like embedded, of playing in the snow. And so every year that's like all you can see her wishing and prayer energy just goes to snow. Last year, man, we got an event sort of like this, where it could be all the way up to the next day. And her cousin who lives in Dothan, which is down along the Florida coastline, they ended up getting the snow and we didn't. They got like 6 inches and it rained all the way down to snow to the Gulf. So Charlotte is upstairs now with, fingers crossed and weather apps. Fun.
centimeters, yes. So with 25 centimeters, what, 10.5 inches?
Yeah, something. Yeah, just
2.54 centimeters in an inch, something like that.
Can you have fun? Can you have fun in the snow anymore, Jeff?
Well,
you know what I mean? It's because it's all you're so used to it. To us, it's like an amazing rarity.
Yeah. Not well. I work at a ski hill, so it helps to have snow for that.
Oh, brilliant!
And
yeah,
I shovel roofs off on my spare time, so it helps for that. So people always complain about the snow up here. We always have so much snow. We have so much snow. It's like, well, then monetize on it.
Just pocketbook. Exactly.
Yeah, well, up north, I'm in New England. The landscapers, half the year you're landscaping, half the year you're shoveling.
Yeah.
It's a half and half business. So it is a moneymaker. That's for sure.
Yeah, that's what I'd imagine. Down here, when you're into the outdoor work, guys, I did some landscaping, ran a nursery, all that sort of stuff. It's so damn seasonal. You've got to prep or have yourself some sort of specialty, for the off season. So to have snow would, perfect.
Oh, for sure. Yo.
What's up, Sarah?
Yo.
All right.
You put down Zelda long enough. So Sarah and Jacqueline, I'll give you all.
I was waiting for something to come up.
Yeah, here, I'll give her a little prep. She just showed me an ad they interviewed an archaeologist. They had the great Ed Barnhart on.
Oh, no kidding. That's who Luke Caverns is working under, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So they're moving along in the world over there at Universe Unveiled.
Yeah.
And Sarah worked up this incredible, and I don't know if you put it out yet, so I won't tell them. But Sarah spends a lot of her little precious, free time. She's a mother, I'm a father, so I know what it means to have this little bit of time that's fucking yours to keep your sanity, and she'll spend it in video games. And tonight's edit, she dude, all I could send back to her was, that's the dopest thing ever, Sarah. She worked in, some little video game edits into this brilliant interview they had with Ed Barnhart. And, so she had the words and everything. So there you go. There's PR for the Institute of Natural Philosophy, head of PR, Sarah, over there at Universe Unveiled with Ed Barnhart coming out soon.
Well, we do like some gaming, don't we, Jeff? You guys over on DrinkU.P, you have your gaming nights, and I do a fair share myself as well. So gonna have to check that out. Sounds pretty cool. Yeah.
Yeah, it was cool. It was very creative, which Sarah is most definitely a creative individual. You'll see her preaching the virtues of creative expression for the individual all the time, and she embodies it. No doubt.
That's awesome.
I wish Andy was here and better mod when he is.
Andy, get over here.
Drop it in the link in the chat.
I'm gonna just pull up a map. We don't have to get started just while we're seeing what's happening here. A map, sort of a good starting point for us here.
Yeah.
And I think just the image file. Now I'm gonna see which of these two actually looks better. I think this is sort of an actual roads and everything map, which probably works just fine for our purposes.
If we wanted a quick recap on last week when we ended off, sorry to cut you off there.
No, please do.
We talked about Mobilla, a lot of the artifacts and amalgamations of concretions, almost you could call it, metals, all sorts of stuff that you found.
The melted metal,
we teased a little bit of other these rock formations and stuff that you'd found walking around Alabama that almost look like they're blown up or melted. And I know we looked at them together before, and they almost look very similar to a lot of the rocks and formations that I saw when I was in Peru around some of the sites. So
That's correct. That's correct. And I know you've got, you brought up some photos. We're going to compare those. So the plan tonight, everybody, guys, is I'll pick up with just showing everybody the map of the state of Alabama, so you see the territory. Then I'm going to kind of walk you through. We're gonna ignore Mobilla, you know, just for clarity for everybody watching. We'll be talking about the antediluvian stuff, and I'm going to show you a few things. I'm going to show you a few pictures. I'm going to show you some lidar. I'm going to show you a few satellite images. Now, this lidar I didn't have back in the discovery process, right? But I'm going to go. I want the audience to see, and then we're just going to use my videos, and we're going to do a little watch through, and I'm going to show you, I think, enough anomalies, Jeff. You know, when in both metal and stone, that would put anybody to task to say this is something other than some things that had the man attached to them, and then had some sort of very high energy, high heat event occur. Yeah, so I'll just roll from there. Everybody, this is the state of Alabama. Is this large, oversized marker sharing as well? The red pointer?
I don't. No, I only see the map. I don't see.
Oh, brilliant. Okay.
Uh-oh.
That's going to suck.
Can you share it on your screen instead of as a picture?
Yeah, let's do it. We can try it that way. So, okay. So
I'll remove from the screen.
Share. Yep.
Yeah.
So, okay. Share screen.
Yeah. Okay. So we're not crazy.
Yeah. No. So, okay.
Yes, we are, Jeff, but that's irrelevant. Yeah.
Yeah. Good point. It's
all right. We'll get there. So let me open my iCloud photos where I've got these maps stored.
Yeah. I use iCloud all the time for sharing.
Yeah. The albums, man. It's yeah, no doubt. Okay. And then I'm going to open up maps and lidar. And okay. Now I'm going to hop back over to you, and we're going to share that tab. Okay. Now, did I put the new maps in there? That's always the question. There they are at the very bottom. Okay. So do you have a mouse pointer now? Do you see the red obscene pointer? Good. I made it very large. So let's try this first World Atlas map and see if that's going to pull up for us. Am I sharing? Is that full size?
Yep.
Okay, sweet. So right here, guys, in Montgomery, just north of Montgomery is where I sit. Now, just to tell you, when I said Mobilla and all that stuff, we were talking right here in Prattville last week, right? So here you have the Coosa Tallapoosa River Basin, and then you're looking at Tuscaloosa's territory, Coosa's territory. So there you go. That's central Alabama. Now, tonight, I'm going to show you a couple of pictures. One, I'm going to show you of what I call an earthwork. I believe the correct word, I saw Luke Caverns do a share last week, is intaglio. It's an earthwork where instead of the earth being piled up, it is, concave. The earth is removed, right? Okay, so I'm going to show you one of those. I'm going to call it a winged serpent. That's going to be right here where my marker is in Tuscaloosa's territory in the center of the state of Alabama. Right now, the next thing you'll be shown, guys, just remember triangle. Okay, you're going to see a giant triangle with a whole bunch of oddities around it, and it's a giant triangular mound of stone. Okay, that's going to be right here in Birmingham, Bessemer, at the tip of where you see the Appalachian chains, also coincidentally. So right here, think triangle. Okay, we've got winged serpent here, triangle here. Now, lastly, where we're going to spend most of our time is here on Lookout Mountain, right? You see Fort Payne, then you drive up Lookout Mountain, and you see this little river running along the top of the mountain. That is the Little River Canyon. There are two parks there. There's DeSoto, oddly enough. For those of you last week, you remember that's how I first went up to this place. I was tracing DeSoto evidence. And then in Little River Canyon, okay? So that's, I think, the highlights of the map, just to give everybody. So we're going to Birmingham triangle. We're in a winged serpent here. And this is important, guys. For those of you watching, my style is going to be this. I'm going to show you stuff. And then hopefully at the end, I'll have a story, that I've evidenced to you. And that's just kind of how we'll go about this thing. It's the easiest way to not try to overdo it. Okay, so we're going to go from here to a winged serpent, here to a triangle, and then go look at a whole bunch of weird stuff up here. Jeff shared in the, let me come back to you, Jeff.
Yeah.
The map going. Jeff shared in the thumbnail the giant circular metal deposit. That is one of the, sort of eye-catching ones of these things. And that is up north as well, right? So let's get started.
Yeah, whenever you.
Yeah. So I'm going to go right back to, am I still sharing?
Yep, I removed it from the screen, so you'll have to hit stop sharing, but don't hit leave studio.
Don't hit the leave. Don't hit the leave studio. We've learned that lesson. All right, stop screen. All right, share screen. Okay.
There you go.
There we go. Share screen. Yep.
Drees, what's going on? Doing good,
photo.
man. Doing good.
Yep.
Got Stig.
Share.
Hey, Stig. I saw you popped in your chat earlier, but I had to leave shortly. But Stig's a good guy.
Okay.
Met him at
Yeah, we did.
Arizona.
Go ahead, man.
True Seer, welcome.
True, welcome. True's tuning in from the UK. It's late over there, bud, isn't it?
Oh, damn.
Let's move this thing along then.
Yeah.
So listen, guys, next to the triangle, remember that part of the map in the middle, there's a little town called, it's a town called Mountain Brook. All right. Mountain Brook is a, what you would call a bourgeoisie neighborhood. It's a little townlet, right? Built on top of the mountain. And I mean, it is the most expensive zip code in the state of Alabama. I mean, quite literally, I'm not just talking words here, right? It's these huge protected estates on top of this mountain. And they have these very odd, rock formations everywhere. So it catches my eye. I'm going to show you a few examples of what you find in the yards of these houses on top of this place called Mountain Brook, just to let you see what first started catching my eye in this geographic region, right? Nothing anomalous, necessarily, right? But if you're just looking, for things that don't look quite natural, Mountain Brook is a place where, as you see right there, I'm in the backyard of a house I was flipping. That's just full of these weird horizontal breaks and oddities, and look at the way the stone is sort of, these are patterns that repeat, everybody. The stone is lying everywhere, as though it had fallen from that cliff above. Now I'm on a very large singular piece of stone, right? And look at this thing, right?
Weird rolls
Yeah.
layers.
Is that wind, water? Is that a layer? I don't know, but it catches your eye so much so that the gentleman who had lived in this house, we were flipping. He not much had been left in there. A few of his X-rays, so I know he had a knee replacement, and some lots of old. You see the house down there. Lots of old photo albums, and I'm going to keep clicking through these videos as I talk. I'm going to try to be a good presenter here. A few photo albums. Right. Oh, let me turn off my own music. And these photo albums were him traveling around the world, going to megalithic sites, and had, like, I guess, his niece or daughter, I don't know, and all these pictures with him. Right. And he also had a couple of books. And one of the books he had, I still have right here behind me. It was the only Graham Hancock book, nonfiction, that I'd yet to read, Underworld. Right. So, Jeff, as you see this man's yard, and as you see that I got those photo albums of him going around the world, and I find this Graham Hancock book, and I'm going, this dude he saw it in his yard, So this is sort of where my entree to seeing Central Alabama a touch differently began, right? Now, look at this one. This is, again, nothing eye-popping here. This is a piece of a rock in the backyard.
If you move your mouse off the video there, we can get rid of the arrows.
Sorry
to cut you off, just so it's clear.
No, it's cool, man. I start looking for these seams, right? And you start following those, and all of a sudden they get curved and they go up under the moss, right? And you start going, man, this thing's the size of a, I don't know, fucking SUV. It's a giant hunk of rock in the backyard, right? So we won't linger here because the story doesn't, but this is the top of a mountain, right? And you drive up on it, you get to the top, and you start finding this, just piles and piles and piles. You can see relative to the house here. I think I really give you a good idea of how big this hunk is. And you're going to ask yourself, where did this hunk come from? We didn't have glaciation like you guys had up there.
Yeah, no, it kind of stopped like halfway down Ohio. So
there is a such thing as some localized glaciation, but nothing that moves, things the size of half mountains, So there you have the scene set. Imagine just a Beverly Hills on a mountain where every yard, is this sort of stonework, right? And then I venture over to Hoover, Alabama. And for Hoover is where it's right here again, guys, in the center of the map. This is the triangle. What do I mean by triangle? If you've got maps and LiDAR pulled up here, I'm going to show you. Okay, so I go over to a house on the Cahaba River, guys. And I didn't show you the winged serpent. So let's go in order here. So looking at a map, only time I'm going to say Mobila tonight, I was mapping out DeSoto's route. This is Tuscaloosa's territory, guys. Attahachie, the town was right here, right? Okay, so I see this earthwork, right? I call it an earthwork for various reasons. If you just look at your eyeball and let it maybe see this island with my mouse on it, a very strange island, almost looks like a wing to me, or like an old cartoon artist used to draw a fireball, This is the Alabama River running right here. And then here at the head of this thing, you have two creeks that form, that meet up, and they take, as soon as they meet, an unnatural 90-degree angle right here into the head. And then if I wish I could zoom in, if you can zoom in.
Top left of your screen there, there's that slider.
Oh, rock and roll.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So you zoom in, you start to see these rows in here, like a line. Okay. All right. So now what all of this is when you go there on foot, Jeff, is swamp, right? And what these rows are constituted of are old growth cedar trees. This is not new, right? So when you go and study various different seasons of the photo, you can start to see before the city was put in here, this swamp would have continued around to this wing. You can see it here continuing, and then before the city, it come in here. The city floods all the time for this very reason. And then down here. Now, what my eye, because of the rest of the story, it ends up seeing here is a winged serpent. Okay, so that's central Alabama. Now I get up to the Cahaba River in Birmingham on the map, right? And I start flipping this little house right here. And I start looking around on this side of the shore, and I start seeing these giant rocks that are just up in the side of the hill, and there's no cliff, and you're just going, where did that fucking come from, right? And then you'll look, I'm about to show the video, but just to give you a heads up, what you'll see is these shattered like stones or rocks all along from here to here, right? Over here, it's all sand. There's going to be what I'll walk you through, a little sinkhole, right here. And then we're going to climb this thing, and I'm going to walk you down it, and I'm going to show you what I think looks like half of what people might know from megalithic stones as a drill hole. There's a stone off over here that has two of them. I found that much later. But exploring this thing, there's a stone right in here that has one of those. So this is the map. Now, when I stood here, Jeff, and I'm going, what happened here, right? I came from Mountain Brook, wow, this stone, right? I pull up the map and I see this triangle, and I'm going, all right, why, right? Why? So we got to take a walk over there to see why, and we can do that if Jason will continue to manage this site professionally and go to Hoover and realize there's a 15-minute video. Oh, okay, let's start here. So,
I remember you showing us the rock with the X on it.
Did I show you the X? Then we can keep rolling past that. And did we walk over to the mound? I've done two interviews since the last one. I don't remember.
I believe we did, because I remember asking if there was that like half crescent.
Yeah. Oh, cool.
We can brush over it quick if we want as a quick
look. I'll fast forward for everybody.
Yeah.
So there's an X right there at the bend of the river. I'm calling it an X. I don't know what else to call it. Right.
Like an X
a giant piece of stone. Yeah.
Symmetrical too. I mean, that's interesting.
Yeah, and it's right where the triangle's pointing. All right. So the triangle's over on that side, right? And it's pointing right here to this bend, and it's pointing to this X. You know, I mean, that's just a fact of the layout of the place. Now you see all these rocks, you know, they look all shattered, all right, and sort of devastated, you know, blown pits. It's just, you get to the other side, it's not like a natural, if you go up in the Appalachians, you know, and it's rock all around. See, this is just rock all on one side and then sand on the other, and it stands out. And then you go over to that triangle and you realize that triangle is a big pile of all of this rock that is shattered on this side. And you go, holy shit, somebody came and cleaned up this side and put it in a pile, you know? So yeah, that's where we're going. Let me get back so I can manage this and keep us moving. There's another cut next to sort of that X, and I showcase that here. You know, I call it a cut, call it whatever you want. Actually, I just use words, guys, because it's what it looks like to me, you know? It's just an overabundance of stones with these weird looking marks and cuts seemingly showcased. These are often underwater. Also, it should be said, this river functions much like a drainage ditch. You know, when it rains, the floodwaters, you know, congregate here and then flush out through there, right? So now, keep us moving. Now, if we quickly look, just since everybody's watching for that extra long video, there's swans, there's miniature deer, all kinds of crazy stuff in those woods here. Okay, so let's just show you what that place looked like on the ground and at the 10-minute mark. So here we are, guys, walking over. You can see it's all sand over there. Here, I start coming up to the mound, okay? So it looks like a native mound. You can see it right over here, starting to form. Only problem is when you get closer, you realize, give you a little sound.
We'll climb it here at the point.
So I continue to climb, and then I walk you along, evidencing, of course, that it is stone the whole way. And here you find this sucker.
Yeah, I can't think of any.
Hey, babe, I'm on a live. Everything okay? It's my daughter.
Oh.
No, I'm on air. You good? We're looking at drill holes.
Yeah, it looks like you just took a hole saw right to drywall and
all right.
gouged it right out of the stone.
Perfect. We find tons of rocks like that around here, but usually it's in slag piles, like blast rock from the mines, because they drill a hole in and set the
same here, like along the highways on the cliff sides. You know, they drill, but why would it be out in the middle of the woods? Yeah,
right. I don't know.
I found two.
If I showed you the LiDAR is pretty key. So there's another one here that I didn't find in this video. It's just like that one. It's a little half one. But here at the end of the video, guys, you'll really notice what I'm saying. It's just a pile of this rock, right? A big and little. And it even here at the end, it's like, you know, it trails down. Look at these big boulders. They're the size of, you know, SUVs. Okay. So, and then behind that X, guys, when you start digging rock, you get a very strange material that some of it looks silver, some of it looks gold. It could be anything. What I know is when you put it in muriatic acid, it doesn't do anything to it. It gets shinier. You see all these little shiny particulates? Yeah. They'll remain in the muriatic acid and everything else will break apart. And you're left with like a shiny sludge. Now, my knowledge of muriatic acid tells me that only precious metals can do that. So that's as far as I go with telling you the fact about this massive. This is what's behind the X, right? Okay. Is just this. Also, you pull up strange rocks, right? Like this one is rounded. All right. Now, lastly, there in that area, there's a place called Moss Rock Preserve. And you find these giant beasts, right? We're still right here we're within a mile of the triangle, right?
What's up, Mogwai? Good to see you, bud. Yeah, no, that's maybe one thing. It was all like smooth, but it's like, you know, rugged.
Yeah. The front of it, if I can keep bouncing this and act like I know what I'm doing here. Yeah, I'm getting way up on it. It's the view back. I'm hoping you can see here. You can see how big this place is. Look over here at these chunks of rock. Let me pause that shit. Look, I messed it up right here at the end. Yeah. These chunks of rock here, you know, like these pie wedges and here and here.
Yeah.
it's a very odd place. We don't have to take forever because I have whole videos dedicated to this place. Here's your sign, Moss Rock Preserve. And then let's go back to make sure I show you the LiDAR as we keep moving. Right. Okay. So the LiDAR on that mound, just to fucking pinpoint, put an exclamation point for everybody, is where's here. All right. So it is indeed, a triangular mound, right? Now, this pathway off over here, it's old growth forest. You can't tell what it is today. There's trees, 150 years old growing on top of it. Right. So it's obviously not quite the same stone as is piled up right here. Anyhow, and then your drill holes are, right here, and your X is here. Okay. So that's going to almost wrap us for Central Alabama. I think I sped through that pretty well. This is your triangular mound. Hang on, I've got somebody. I have no idea. Yeah, I have no idea. Okay, sorry, a lot going on. Kids are here. But she did just call me, and she said everything was okay. Okay, cool. Go ahead.
Rue was asking what the overall theory you have with all this stuff you're showing us fits.
Sure. Okay. So in a couple of sentences, by the time we're done, what I think we're looking at is this stuff here, guys. They cleaned up all of the rubble here and they put it in this pile. Okay. Who is they? All right. Let's start with Younger Dryas. Okay. Younger Dryas catastrophe, what we all would know as the antediluvian world, from whatever narrative you're coming at this from, the stories all around the world, Noah's Ark, right? We all have a point we can understand where this flood or this catastrophe occurred, and there was something here before. Okay, that's really all the premise I'm starting with, right? That there was something here before, something that could build very large things in stone, and even use metal in ways that we can't quite wrap our heads around. That all, I believe, it comes together here where I see this stuff then piled up. This is not, I've done the background work. I know all the questions. I've been through this, with people. People are going to say, was there rock harvesting in the area? In this area, there was not. If you watch all the video, you'll see these pieces are the size of, would take Caterpillar's largest machine today to move. This is not an accident from some construction. There is no modern record for anything having happened here, and the forest is old growth. I mean, very old. Right. So that's what I believe this is here, pointing to that X. Now that metal, guys, this is where I'm going to go out there for a second. We have, from all of the various stories around come to us about the antediluvian era. We have hinting, even from the Greeks, of some sort of precious metal that they were obsessed with. Some people call it orichalculum. Some people say it was gold. Some people say it was silver. I don't know, right?
Definitely copper.
Maybe copper, right? Here's what
Jeff. Your bias is short. Yes.
No, I've got weird theories about all that copper sitting on top of the ground too, Jeff. But here's what I do know, like for a fact, is this metal that's piled up behind this X, that whoever had the capabilities to pile these giant pieces of stone up and made sure they put prominently a drill hole here and another stone over here with drill holes in it, right? You can see those in the videos, guys. I won't go back. And an X here and all this strange rubble. And then this metal behind it, that when I put the shiny shit in muriatic acid is only supposed to not fuck with gold and silver, right? Okay, it doesn't fuck with this stuff, So I'm going to borrow from all of these legends about the antediluvian world that tell me they had an obsession with some sort of precious metal, right? Now, when I showcase the rest of what I call the destruction, not just these few pictures from Moss Rock, but when we jump up to North Alabama and Mountain Brook and where that circular metal deposit lies, right? And you start seeing what I believe are signs of a massive form of destruction. You remember that winged serpent, and the winged serpent from around the world, these same mythologies and mythologies, whatever, historical accounts that fucking come to us from the past, from India, from Vedic, from Christian, from all over, right? They unite around this destruction. And there I'm off on a point, so that means I need to stop talking. But Rue asked, and so I'm trying to give it to him, right? So these people come back, Rue, and they want to leave something, and they leave this earthwork, I believe, right? I believe that looks like a giant winged serpent that tells us, okay, this is what brought the destruction, the giant winged serpent from the sky, which we know as green comets, right? So air bursts, or dries. Okay, so they're telling us that with that. Now, when you travel north and you find this giant, pyramid, of course, they're trying to speak down through the ages. They're speaking in earth and stone, right? They're speaking to a time when we would be able to see this stuff and put this story together, right? They then take this rubble from, when you look at the rest of this river, guys, look at the Cahaba River on a map. I challenge you, and you can find it writing letters. It does very odd things. It looks like a modern drainage ditch versus any type river, right? Okay, so they come back to what was obviously some sort of settlement of these megalithic building people, and they piled up this rubble and they pointed it at this X in this stone with that they knew people eventually would see and go, that's not fucking natural. And piled behind it is this metal that seems to have been melted in mass quantity, that would symbolize for them the destruction, what brought their destruction. Graham Hancock tells us they cease to, uses the phrase, they cease to wear their prosperity with moderation, right? Okay, well, right. So if the people coming back that are then, are trying to send a message echoing down through time about what wrought this destruction, they would point to this massive then pile of precious metal and say, here was the error of our way. We became obsessed with the material. So I think that's what this triangle is, Rue.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah,
it is definitely interesting. There's, like you said, so many stories about the meteors or asteroids being talked about as like a serpent in the sky, the dragon, all that stuff. So
it is, and how it appears. And, there's the science for those that wish to look, the air burst just this year over in Louisiana, Mark Young and his work there and research there, there's science to this, but either way, not to get hung up on the story. Thank you for the question, Rue. Once we get done looking at the amount of anomalies, and we'll just give you a few more hints here after this, we'll move to the Lookout Mountain. You've got to answer what these things are, at least, right? Yes, I'm proposing, but I'm proposing based on what I've spent. You're looking at, 5 years, whatever, 3, 4, of just sorting this stuff out, being curious and going, what is this? What is this? Why is this giant piece of rock here? Where did it come from? And you keep going and you get these circular metal deposits, as we'll jump to now. So let me come back to share screen with you.
Yeah, it's been up. I didn't take it down.
Okay, sweet. I kind of toyed you there with Moss Rock Preserve, and I'm going to keep us rolling. But that's central Alabama. Now, guys, when you then hit the road from Birmingham, in the middle of this map here, and you go up to Lookout Mountain, whatever, I might as well say it. There's plenty of what you're going to look at and go, boy, that looks like a pyramid with some pine trees on it, right? Okay, well, if you're a guy like me and you decide you're going to go pull your fucking truck off the road and climb the top of that pyramid thing and see what it is, you're going to find it's made of giant pieces of quartz and stone, just like huge hunks of it. And they run it at like almost the exact same height, parallel. It's just weird. You got to ask yourself, why is this pile of rose quartz rock here? And it kind of looks like a pyramid. Yeah. So as you go through that territory, you get to Lookout Mountain. And let me master the share screen one last time and say, stop sharing. And how we're going to manage from here on in is just a YouTube video. So I don't have to worry with anything else. All right, that's open, and screen share. And somebody took my tea. Okay, share screen.
Oh, you got it. Okay.
Screen share and YouTube. Sure.
There we go.
Go. Okay.
There it is. Rue did say, I'm not questioning, just trying to understand the overall premise.
Yeah, Rue. So In Antediluvian Alabama, you're gonna see if you just go through here, you'll see I break these videos down. I try to give you a nice title. I put at the beginning of each of these. You guys can see I've got plenty to say on this topic. So I give everybody at least like a good 5-minute exposition at the beginning of the video of what you're gonna see. What my sort of point or question I'm raising with this particular anomaly is, right? So it's very easy I've got a playlist, it's all 9 of these episodes. It's very easy to sort of walk yourself through, Rue. And by the time you're done looking at those 9 videos, I think you have enough geologic anomalies to say this isn't geologic, not all of it, right? Not all of it. And then that's when I start putting these pieces together and saying we were seeing, it's like at Göbekli Tepe, right? This goes to the point of last night, Graham Hancock and Randall Carlson released, when we were out there, dude, in Arizona.
I didn't get to watch it yet. Did they feature your question on there?
Yeah, they left all our questions in.
Nice.
So both of mine were in there and they left their answers. And I realized I was so nervous with Graham when I saw him staring back at me. I didn't even get to my question, right? But he he was perfect. He read my mind and he knew exactly the question I was getting at. But that's at Göbekli Tepe. I think we see something pass to us in stone. I personally think we see something pass to us in stone. You're talking 9,000 years ago. You're at the Younger Dryas boundary, whatever it is it 10,000? It's been a long day. But either way, you got the stone images and they've got all these men holding their penis, right? And many people have fun with that and say, oh, Göbekli Tepe was a place where everybody went to copulate or something, right? But if you start looking for these men holding their penises around the world, and you go, I know it's funny. We can have fun with this.
We're still childish at 31.
It's true though, right? If you go to, for instance, the Indus Valley civilization, you've got one of the oldest depictions, I believe, on Earth of anything, of certainly a shamanic practice. You have a very old pottery shard with a man cross-legged and animals around him and an erect, phallus, right? That is known, not sexual. That's an expression of sort of shamanic energy is one way to put it. Now, if anyone has any regular or even any experience with psilocybin, using that to alter your consciousness, you might have brushed up against that in effect if you're a male. But what you're hitting on is a very sacred thing, a very sacred expression of full power, right? So I believe at Göbekli Tepe, when we're seeing these representations of Gilgamesh, you guys might know the name Gilgamesh. Okay. Well, in Gilgamesh, there was a story where, Gilgamesh was admonished, don't put your fascination, your heart's desire on this grub. He was talking about his phallus, because soon it will be food for the actual grubs. So instead, put your heart on eternal things, on spirit things, right? On God, whichever terminology, folks like to use. So he was telling Gilgamesh what I see as sort of the same message of this triangle, this precious metal, and these drill holes, and this destruction, was they are telling us, do not put your focus on the material. You must put your focus on the spiritual. And I see that in that symbology, and I see it in this message with this pyramid. So that's where I was going with Graham, but and I had a nice question, and I tried to plug Nikki Anna Jones because I just talked to her, so she was in there, but I didn't get that question out. But that's where I was going. Was I see the same message from potentially the same people, just put to us, in just the same form, like Göbekli Tepe, man, they buried it, in my opinion, and in the opinion of a lot of other people, they buried it,
Now, on the fence on which, if I think it was naturally buried, like from like a flood or something like that, or if they did it themselves, I'm still kind of on the fence. I get to read and watch more to really come
Ricardo's on the fence with you, and that's why I specified my opinion, because either way, I don't think it affects the story that the stone tries to tell us. So we lost Isaac. But we're going to keep moving, guys. Yep. So let's
step away for a moment.
North Alabama, okay? And we're going to start with that big funny thing. I'm going to skip all the exposition. You got to go click through. But the big funny looking thing.
Yeah.
Let me get this maximized here. Oh, no. What did that do, Jeff?
What happened? What do you mean?
Well, it looks odd on my end. I got 3 or 4 things. What do you have?
I got your video.
Okay, sweet.
Yeah.
Okay, So right here, guys, we'll just take a look at this, and I'll explain to you what it feels like, what it looks like. Okay.
Yeah, that is.
Yeah. So it's round. When you're there in person, all this flaring is like it's metal. I mean, it just is. It's rusted, right? And this rock. The word I use is concrete, right? I'm not trying to get anybody flustered or to say I'm assuming anything. It's the word I use, and I even have a video in here called Concrete Comparison, because it's all these little quartz pebbles, white pebbles, trapped in a gray matrix. A modern day person would call it concrete. I don't know what type of stone it is. People have said sedimentary. I think when you watch all these videos, you see the way that it aligns. I've got questions about sedentary, but most importantly, I've got a circle. I have a circle with the same measurements, here and here, right? I have something that echoes deeply a machine. The only problem is then I find 2 or 3 more within 40 feet of each other exploring this hill.
I was gonna say one's an anomaly. 2 or 3 of them, that's a pattern.
Yeah, it just gets a weird place, dude.
Yeah,
weird
that's
place.
really awesome looking place. It's beautiful, those falls like that. That stream coming down.
Right here at the very first footsteps of DeSoto Falls trails, you can see these metal.
Photos becoming iconic. Yeah, I'd say.
The what?
You can see the quartz in the stone.
Sorry about the feet shot, guys. So this, so
I was gonna say,
what I'm pointing out here is at the beginning, as I'm just taking my first little walk down to DeSoto Trails, there are all these rocks with these odd little buckles in them. The main takeaway is to see the scattered, rocks. And as you walk, just the continuous anomalies, here you might start to see some things that echo a few sections of the Peru stuff without all the, obvious markings. Now, one of the biggest, I might have skipped it right here, sort of anomalies that I always point out in this part of the tour. Yeah, here. Walking in is this stone.
I tried to look underneath it. It's on the screen.
Let me give you perspective here.
If you want to turn your volume up in the video a little bit so you can hear what you're saying. Yeah, that's good.
There in the divot. Look at the grooving on all these pieces on the underside.
Yeah, that doesn't look like water erosion either.
Right.
Not at all.
Oh, look, there's some metal right there.
See all the little quartz rocks?
Yeah. Yeah, it almost looks like a tons of those little quartz kind of like mashed together.
That is the pile up there
That I was just
that I
on.
was just filming. The circular holes all over these giant pieces of rock. Same makeup as the rest. See all the quartz?
Now I'm going to walk around right here on the back side is the
Slide
giant
through.
circle.
I was gonna say.
Looks suspiciously as
like
though it fell off
pathways
from
between
this
are pretty
piece
cool.
where these.
Yeah, it's right around the corner here. You're about to see it.
So do you have any granite down
As we
there
come
at
around-
all, by any chance, or
Giant piece
looks awfully
seemed to
similar?
come from there.
Yeah, it's the pebbles that throw me. So every piece of stone you see is gonna have these pebbles.
There's-
Every piece of stone, guys.
That's weird.
No, is it? I don't know if you heard Isaac's question on it. Do you have granite down there at all, or is it all just quartz and?
There's some granite. There's lots of quartz. I mean, you find everything. You're at the foothills of the Appalachian, right, so to speak.
Right. Yeah.
Now this
I'm just-
pile.
It looks that's just incredible stone structures. I'm just kind of
Yeah, it is. I'm trying to figure out what it is.
Amazing landmass. Yeah.
So right here is your first circular deal, whatever you want to call it. And then, behind it, these piles of stone with these, see all the little white quartz rocks? Okay. Every stone you see, guys, has that makeup.
Okay.
Every stone, no matter the size.
Would you say in any sense at all that it could possibly be like a petrified tree that got encased in
I'm
toppled over?
familiar with petrified wood, and I'd say no.
Okay.
Right?
Right.
Because, well, here, let's keep going, Jeff. Let's take you down the hill a ways.
Yeah.
And let's let you see the other one. So this is just walking down the hill from this thing. Off trail.
Rocks.
Just seeing what's in the woods.
It's a break. These little guys.
Now, as I get, here we go.
Metal in there.
So this is just scattered all through the woods. It's what this terrain is.
Yeah, a lot of those like holes. That looks a lot like the same type of rock that we saw at, I think it was Kenko in Cusco.
Really?
5 times fast.
Yeah, those little pillars are all over the place. That's what I call those things. They look melted. Call them little pillars. Now I'm starting to walk back up the hill towards the giant circle to give everybody a frame of reference. I'd come down the hill, still maybe finishing. But when I go back up, I alarm myself by seeing this.
The video here and do it its own. We found a second circular metal deposit. This is a third, actually.
Oh. Okay. Keeps freezing up on my end. I don't know if it is
metal.
It is on mine too. Yeah.
See
okay.
the circles.
Well, as long as it's still running, we're good.
Continuing.
No, your video is good. It's just the stream itself on our end is freezing up, but I think it's okay.
Okay. So this rock, and then we can probably show another video for some really Peru-like stuff, I hope. But this rock, guys, is now, I'll show you here real quick. I'm going to walk back up the hill. You're roughly 40 yards, down the hill from the big first one, right here. Surrounded by these giant piles of rock, right? Now, as you make your way down to the falls, right, you're going to keep encountering what I call these little like pillars. You said sort of look like, some of the things from Peru, right? This is the entire landscape. That's what's really important to take from this video. This entire top of this mountain, no matter where you go, whether you're beside a road, whether you're beside an Airbnb, whether you're, wherever you are, this is what you're going to find in the woods, right? This general landscape where it looks like a bunch of shit is scattered, blown up, and piled up, and underneath and along the edges, you can find all of these things that seem to be echoes of not natural anomalous features. Okay.
That's cool.
Now, let's do what I think looks close, guys, to some of your Peru stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, look at this metal sheet. I found this walking out. I mean, I don't know what else to call it. It's metal between 2 giant pieces of stone. It runs about 3 feet to the ground. You can pull in there, see all the way. See those little white, tiny quartz pebbles that bleed in. All right,
yeah,
so
you see that difference in where it is. That's weird.
Yeah, it is. It's just
holes and like bubbly.
When you get up in the caves that are up here, so once you get under these piles of rocks, there's all sorts of caves. They go on and on. Cool. Yeah, underground water coming at you from every angle. Now, I don't want to close out here. So let me make sure there, and then I want to go back. Yeah,
that's cool.
That's really cool looking. Yeah,
that's awesome. That video, I was listening to it last week before I had you on, so I wasn't able to watch it. I was just listening to it at work, and I'm trying to envision what it looked like inside of there. It's even better than I thought. That's cool.
Right. So I'm trying to think of something. Let's go over to, guys, if you check out my page, you're gonna see a lot of things called roadside rocks. So that's because as you drive along this terrain, if your eyes are open, you'll see things off the side of the road that are giant piles of rocks. And if you're like me, you hop out and you look and see what it tells you. And some of the things you find, I think there's 3 videos. This is DeSoto Falls itself. No. Oh, it is. Yeah, DeSoto Falls. That's where Hernando went, and
okay.
Reportedly, his men dove, and the story I heard was they didn't find the bottom. I don't know the actual depth, but I do remember that about the story. I go swimming there a lot, man. It's great when in the summertime the fall's not near as strong, and you can swim over there to it, and just basically stand under it. Right there, it'd crush you that day.
I was gonna say, there's a set of waterfalls that it's coming out of a power plant dam.
Right.
They have the dam closed up a little bit. We'd always go swim in there in high school and college, and then when it was open, we'd try to swim there, and it just didn't work.
Yeah, it's not safe.
No.
I thought about it that day because I was tired, but I didn't. So as you see, there's always a little exposition here. But let's hop to the meat of the video.
Quartz can cover gold and silver. Have you seen any of that? Have you seen any gold or silver down there other than
so gold or silver? Gold
comes hand in hand usually with quartz.
Gold has been found in Alabama. I have found small, minuscule amounts in my looks. But yeah, it has been found in measurable quantity within 20 miles. If you remember that map I showed you, I sit where the winged serpent earthwork is. So within 30 miles north of us, in Clanton, Chilton County, Alabama. Oh. So this particular video. So here I am on the side of the road, and you see this guy sitting on a pillar. I'm going to walk you up there, and you're going to see another feature that repeats everywhere on these odd stones. So I'm about 40 feet from the of the canyon that is the West Fork of the Little River. Okay. All right, and you've got a bunch of weird stones on the side of the road.
Okay, I paused it while climbing, so let's take a look again. Look at all this modeling.
That's interesting.
Horizontal lines.
That notch out of the side there.
What is this?
Keep that in your mind. I'm going to show you what's behind me in a minute, so you'll see what's facing that thing.
Holy shit!
It's weird, right? Now that
looks like loaf of that whatever type of bread like the skull comes out in little chunks. That is weird.
Tell me how it happened naturally, please.
I mean, I'm no geologist, but
I'm
big pieces wedged from the explosion. Look at this, gets flat. Fissure.
Look at that scoop in the rock there too. That's interesting.
Now, all right. So this looks like half a paw on the bottom of that snake-looking weird ass stuff. All right, so get over here and what's that?
What is this? Again, we've got the scaling.
Wow. It looks like dragon scales.
Yeah.
All right. Same stone, all that little quartz shit in it. Middle of the woods. 30 yards from the cliff that leads down to the river. See all the little quartz pebbles?
Looks straight out Fellowship of the Ring right there.
Doesn't it?
Yeah.
Gives you chills. Now walk around the side of this sucker.
I got to take a trip down to Alabama.
It's weird shit, dude.
I guess so.
Now down here, the other thing to note, I guess, while we're looking at the side of this thing is I'm going to show you what's metal. It's a square piece of melted metal on this thing. Right here. Okay. It just stands out because I'm noting the metal everywhere with this weird ass stone that's made of quartz. And this is the back of that thing now. If I fast forward, guys, real quick, I actually come back in different seasons, and I tried to put all these videos together showing you the same site in different seasons. So I'm going to show you this thing when the leaves are gone. Where's the sweater? I'm wearing a sweater. Yeah, right here. Look at it.
It's springtime and fall time is the best time to find all that cool stuff.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
I gotta get a new drone before summer for sure.
Stay away from water.
Hold over.
I'm gonna no more flying over water.
Look at this stuff here. Look at that thing. Look at this. Thorns, man. Always thorns everywhere.
Now, are you barefoot as always? Here?
Thorns.
Am I barefoot in this one? No, it was cold, and I was driving around in a single day. So I did have shoes on for this.
Would you just look at it? Just look at it.
Just look at it. Just look at it. No, that's neat.
Oh, shit. I'm messing up.
All right. Y'all hear that wind?
We're good on this end.
Okay, cool. So listen, I then go around and show you more of that and show you the road. I'll give you one more example that I think is a pretty cool one for your Peru experience. Let's see. Roadside Rocks 2. Let's do this bugger real quick, and then we'll let you show some stuff.
Yeah.
So I'm now a little further south from where we just were. I am on the Little River Canyon within the Little River Canyon National Preserve. Things to note about the Little River: it is one of the only rivers in the entire world that runs its entire course along the top of a mountain, and that's damn near literally accurate. It dives off probably the last 5% of its entire course is where it takes the dive and then joins another river. So it's just it's a very weird place right off the bat. Skip the exposition and to the canyon itself here. Yeah, of the Little River Canyon. It's a miniature Grand Canyon.
I was gonna say it looks like almost like a Grand Canyon with trees.
Yeah. The rocks down in the bottom are very weird, dude, when you get down there and start boulder jumping. Kind of looks like Sacsayhuaman's walls got blown up. Big L-shaped rocks. It's a weird place. Now, all of that rock has the quartz in it as well. Formations I just filmed from are right back up. So right here, I'm about to show you.
Right?
All right.
So any of these.
So you can see these stones down there, man. It's weird. Now, right here we go, Jeff. So, guys, I'm 20 miles, as maybe 15 as the crow flies, somewhere in that region from the last set of rocks I just showed you. Okay.
Goodness, we asked about other trails that lead down, and we got informed about one. So we're actually on the way to find it. Look at the metal.
Looks like armor on the rocks.
Yeah, it does. That's a great way to describe it.
Native?
That's interesting.
Yeah, maybe a native marking. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Look at this place, man. Dude, this is sick. Tiffany and Jason. All right, look at the way this flares and just how absolutely flat.
Smooth, so smooth.
Yeah. That's strange. You can get off, bro. Get off.
It's got the quartz.
I will. You go for it. I want to check out this whole place in one go. Look, dude, more metal. Look, that's what all this red shit is. Look.
Oh, yeah.
There.
Oh, that's cool.
It's cool though, isn't it?
Logan's a kid.
Hang on, man. I'm coming. Look at the seam. What happened here?
Oh.
It's worth you seeing the all sides of this rock.
Do you think you can make that?
Yeah.
Well, I'll hand you the camera. I'll take the key. Let me go look at the rest of this. Dude, this is so strange.
Look at
It's like rock bubbles, man. Oh, you keep
Look at
going.
that. Like that was the bottom of the foot or something,
that.
you know, and
Foot.
it fell over. Right. I don't know.
Yeah, that's weird. Yeah, it definitely looks like it may have been laying on the flat ground and then.
Now, right behind it. So behind me, watch me turn around and you see the same thing happen. I'll walk up under it. The same thing happens again.
Stuff.
There's some more of the possibly native stuff.
It's definitely the same shape
Yeah.
all the way around.
There's some in there.
What is this?
Now look, another flared. You see, perfectly flat. See?
What
Yeah.
is this? What is this? These two are just propped against each other, man.
Now, if you just keep on
That
walking,
almost
Jeff,
looks like a disc or something that was sitting on the bottom there.
yeah. Backside.
Wow.
It's like a complex almost. You know, it's what it feels like a little bit walking through there. Right. And then really the thing I'll end with showing on this one is these metal seams, dude. Once you get around the back, they start doing really weird things.
Did you find your way up, man?
One of the weird things they do as Logan makes his way to the top of that rock. Here.
Get in here.
All right.
And look,
There.
there's buckles.
All right. So I can follow this layer around these pieces of stone and I can find these areas where it goes up and it goes over and it goes right back down and it continues. Right. That's just an odd
You've got this
thing to see happen in a natural stone repeatedly over and over again.
seam. Buckle. Buckle. Over here. I mean, really. What is this?
See all the white quartz
See the
pebbles?
rock
Yeah.
again?
Now,
We're miles.
where is this? You said,
So
is this Little River
we're on
Canyon?
We're on the edge of Little River Canyon.
And then
Okay.
continuing
If
on.
I were to
Up
get
here.
quiet in this video, I just showed you the cliff edge. You would hear the water running at the bottom of the canyon. I'm literally maybe 40 feet, to less than 30 yards, probably, somewhere in there from the literal edge of the canyon, right?
How far is that from Wetumpka?
So Wetumpka is 10 minutes from me right now, and I am 2.5 hours from here. Wetumpka is the site of the impact crater.
I was going to say that's what I was just looking at the geology quick.
Yeah,
Talking.
yeah. So all of this quartz, so much of this quartz I have behind me, and even I find it shaped. This is quartz, but you find it shaped. There you can see it's quartz because it's broke on the back. In the Coosa River, which was formed by that impact crater in Wetumpka, Alabama. And the Coosa formed the border between Coosa and Chief Tuscaloosa's territory. A lot of shocked quartz in that area. You can find it harvested. Natives took this shiny material, and made it into plates. I love Wetumpka, dude. It's got a lot of weird shit. I found, I've got video on X, guys. Go look at my highlights, anybody watching, and there's petrified wood. It's a giant log. I mean, it's petrified log, and it's got what are cut marks in it, but the cut marks have the quartz developed within the cut mark. So it appears to be petrified wood that was somehow cut before it was petrified, right there along the boundary of that impact crater. A lot of weird stuff in Wetumpka. So yeah, that's where you are there. Now, let's finish with this set.
That's nutters. I don't know what else to say. I'm like,
So poor Logan, he gets to the top there and he gives you a good view of.
all right, go up there and you got the phone?
Yep.
Keep it straight up and down.
Yeah.
And you can see this sort of complex.
Flaring. That's the thing. Can you see the flaring there and there?
It's interesting.
This stuff is flat.
And then Logan's going to throw me the phone.
Here, buckle. Exactly.
And those buckles, just like I showed you around back, repeat around front. This would be roadside rocks number 2 along the Little River Canyon for anybody interested in that piece. Now it goes on and on. You know, roadside rocks 3, and I'll just fast forward. Oh, okay. Here is the bottom. This is the hippie hole, and this is the bottom of Little River Canyon. This is what you find, and that's me showing that poor kid there. They couldn't talk him into jumping, and so I'm like, all right, come on, man, I do it, you do it. And so here we are jumping into the hippie hole.
That's some super clear water too.
Oh,
it's beautiful water.
It's the best, bro. It's crystal clear. And those strange rocks. So here, this was I found this my last trip up. These other sites I had been to repeatedly, you know, been up there over the years, just tracing this shit out. But my last visit, this place, same place, Little River Canyon, probably as the crow flies, like 2 or 3 miles of that south of that last site, but it's about 11 or 12 mile drive because you got to wander, you know, back and forth all the canyon drive. But take a look at this place.
I think we've got every feature you're already familiar with by now. I'm right on the rim. I can hear the water. But these I had to get a shot of. What do we have?
I haven't even watched this one back.
Uh-huh.
Just stacked.
Well, see, I walk behind it, Jeff. You'll see it. It's
Okay.
it's just a weird place, dude. I don't want to use a word and throw you off. I guess tell me.
Yeah, don't want to be biased right off the bat, right?
I'm just a dude hopping out in the woods finding this weird shit, you know.
Look. Debris field, guys. Debris field.
It's what it feels like when you're there. You got to ask yourself where it came from. You know, anything you find.
Look at these.
So, walk around front of this thing. Great force. Some energy happened. You know, you can even see it in action in places. You know, you can find it like this, supporting giant pieces of stone. You know. That happens all over. Look at this, you know, see these pieces that are, I mean, what the fuck? That's the rocks. That's every rock up there, you know. Sorry to get excited for you, but you know, something fell apart and something fell down, you know, and then you get them back on top, Jeff. I haven't watched this back. I'm going to get carried away. You get back on top, Jeff, and it starts echoing again, like that other one, like a complex sort of feel to it, you know, like you can kind of walk through it, I guess is the clearest way to say it.
Isaac, do you guys have any rock formations like this out by you at all, or?
I mean, New Hampshire is the granite state, so there are some amazing formations, but I've never seen anything quite like this. Not quite like this. This looks like someone came down with an ice cream scoop and chucked a massive bowling ball down and just wrecked chaos. Ours, you know, I'm in the northern half of the Appalachians, and so I mean, similar geography, but not quite like this. I'm seeing things that are very unique. I've never seen before. So I'm.
Well, good, Isaac. I thank you for saying that. That's really all I've been trying to document, just me and my phone, as you see here. Various days I can run up there, or my last birthday, I took my daughters up here for 3 days. I got a lot of good video.
Awesome.
But yeah, you know, as we continue, guys, the thing you see, I called this one concrete comparison. And that's because now all that stone I just went down, I showed you, you know, how big all this shit is. I'm back up on top, and I notice.
You can full screen that. I didn't think
And
about
of course, all of it containing our friend, the quartz pebbles.
Okay.
I'm telling you, somebody needs to fire a concrete driver because he spilt lot of fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just I mean, there's got to
So
be.
I found my way back to the car.
the funny thing I ended with, I'm walking my daughter out, and see, I'm just showing you this complex as it feels, with this melted sort of thing caught my eye.
Little River Canyon.
And I ended it with a shot of the walkway walking out of this place from probably the 50s or 60s, whenever they poured the concrete. And my daughter says, "Dad, it looks the same."
Filmed her goodbye, and Isabella's like, "Look, it looks just like all the rocks around here, except this is obviously concrete."
So that was Isabella's idea, to do one call it concrete comparison. If you, I'm going to pull it back out now, guys. If you, we can do a little chatting, and you can do a little whatever. Let me see your face before I start talking. Otherwise, I'm going to accidentally kill myself on this stream. You know what I mean? Cut it. There we go.
Careful.
We've learned that. So Isabella, had that idea, and if you go to my ex, I know specifically, and even on the long video on YouTube, I featured Isabella, a trip with her to that second circular metal deposit. I was showing her, and she goes picking up pieces of rock that are just in the forest, and she's like, "Dad, this is a fucking hunk of concrete," And I go, "I know, baby, but look," and I take the hunk from her, and I go over to that big stone with the metal deposit in it, and I go, "It's the same rock," and she goes, "It's still fucking concrete,"
Really
Hey,
makes
it's
you
awesome.
think. I mean, obviously, I know you don't. I'm not going to put words in your mouth, but it really makes you think. I mean,
It makes you think. I'm having fun with words, because whatever, it's fun. But what I'm trying to
helps people
put
understand.
forth
Yeah.
is, Isaac, is the questions, brother.
Yeah, definitely.
I hope I've documented enough, anomalous features and enough questions to pique interest, to where people will start asking, well, what is this? It's fun. I like it because I just like to go with the what could it be. You mentioned Lord of the Rings, dude,
Definitely.
and
Definitely.
and when you let your mind, play out, if this giant canyon with this river that is perfectly straight along the top of what I'm calling mountain, dude, geologists, honestly, I've watched plenty of documentaries about how this place formed. There's even questions about how it formed. Because there's swamps on top of this mountain. There's natural springs. So a lot of them will tell you, that means there was mountains on either side. And originally this was a valley. And somehow all the mountains went away and this became the mountain, is basically the geologic description of this place.
Something would have to happen.
Well, that's
Mountains don't go away that fucking fast.
It's the funny thing I'm seeing with the footage you're showing. It's kind of like a culture shock to me, because where I'm at, way up north, we don't have much vegetation at that elevation. It's usually much more rocky and clear. So like you're saying, with the moisture and obviously the warmer climate, it's very interesting to see, like you said, swamps up there and stuff. And
I was going to say, when excuse me, you mentioned like how they say it was a bit of mountain before and then it was flattened. Allegedly up here in the UP, it was all what I was told. I think it was like Forest Service rangers back in high school. We were at Porcupine Mountain State Park. They were saying that the entire range around where I live was mountains bigger than the Rockies, and then the glaciers completely flattened them down to 1,600 feet. Above sea level.
Right.
So I mean, and that's because we had the glaciers and multiple glaciations over how many millions of years.
Correct. Right.
Know what happened in Alabama?
Yeah.
If that was the case, that there were the mountains there before, and they got.
Yeah, if you're going to come to me correct with all natural explanations, I'm going to tell you got to explain the winged serpent earthwork. I need to understand how those 90 degrees and that feature happened naturally, right? I need to understand how this triangle of giant rocks that I couldn't move and a Native American couldn't fucking move. Yes, they used rock, but guys, these rocks are the size of the house I'm sitting, half of it, right? I need explanations for that, right? And these drill holes, and then everything we just spent an hour maybe watching, all told, it's just a very, very strange place that I see a story in, no matter what anybody else sees. But I do hope it leaves a lot of questions for folks that like questions.
I know I have a lot of questions.
Well, I would just like to say too, I like the way you approach it with question asking. The kind of like the Socrates method. It's good to ask questions. I'm very much a proponent of question asking with everything in life.
Yeah.
And anyone who gets hostile to question asking always makes me question things. You know, it's like, you know, there's no harm in being inquisitive. There really isn't. In fact, it's a good thing. So I like that method.
Curiosity saved my life. You know, I did an interview earlier this past weekend after our last show, and I told them that if you had my Dungeons and Dragons stat sheet in front of you, you know, curiosity would be maxed out. You know, it's very top, because it really has sort of saved my life. You know, and these questions, once you start asking them, man, and once you get your ass out there and you start just looking at it, you know, and just take narrative out of your head and look at this stuff, and you questions start popping up, you know, and that's what got me into it. I tried to tell everybody in one video, you'll see marked at the top of my Rumble page, one I have pinned from a while ago, and I said, you just look at it and you go, how the fuck did this happen? It just pops in your head and you can't help, you know, if you will just look at it for a second. And then I found that once I started exploring Alabama, that kept happening, you know. I kept finding more and more things where it was, I just questioned, bro.
That's awesome.
No, it's always good. Like Mogwai says, always ask the sacred question.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
But, I'm sorry, I keep forgetting to take. We're live and we do have chat.
Yeah.
I'm too nervous.
I suppose you're on the one screen, so you can't.
George
see
Orwell.
There's everybody.
Yep.
True. Question everything. Rue, you got something going on? Damn, Rue, hope the results are good news. Okay, well, either way, I'm not going to try to catch up, but I do hope everything's well there with you, Rue.
Yeah, absolutely.
And you know, I haven't, Isaac, to what you were saying about having the questions. Rubate, great friend of the community, guys, all the way around. It can't be declared enough publicly. That dude's just helping this community in all kinds of ways. He asked, you know, my theories on all of this, because it is so much, right? But I have been very shy about going up front. You know, I do in my last Antediluvian video, and the exposition, I put exposition I made 3 years ago when I first found it, you know, so I do go into that, but I've tried to stay away from it because honestly, you couldn't have showed me all this in the beginning, you know, guys. You got to remember, I was trying to give you a glimpse. It was years of me each day kind of seeing a little more, you know, and then seeing a little more. And then winding up at a site I didn't need to be at and going, well, now what the fuck is this? You know, and just over years, just continuing to trace it out. So I don't think anybody could take it in like bite-sized chunks. And I certainly don't expect that. So I've stayed away. You know, I'm kind of waiting until I guess the picture gets out there. And then when you start asking yourself, what is this? That's how the story came to me, you know, once I'd seen it all, you know, and I'm starting to look at it and I kind of, that story comes to me is all.
Yeah, well, I mean, once you see more and you learn more, everyone's opinions and biases change over time. I mean, we all do. And you're never the same person you were yesterday. I'm not. I know I'm not. No. So people in any realm, history or anything we're talking about, whatever it may be, everyone needs to have patience with each other too, because we all learn at different rates and see different things. And it's very important to do that. So
the journey is what's important, you know.
Yes. Yeah.
You let me spend a good bit of time talking about like the spiritual stuff last time, and I liked doing that. You know, I'm glad I got it out of the way so we could get to the other stuff. But I like doing that because for me, guys, is the journey of finding all this was going hand in hand with, you know, me getting myself straight and keeping myself straight and you know, doing all those things, right? So it was a journey, and I do hope that in some way folks can get a journey themselves, right? Walking out of, I use the term, Isaac, narrative blindness, right? And I use the term because I was in it, you know, my narrative, let alone did what I was taught in school right here in this state, did it not teach me about the mound builders. You know, shout out to Greg Little, who we saw fucking nail it for 3.5 hours.
Oh, that's fantastic.
With Wandering Wolf and K Smythe Hill the other night. Yeah, you know what that guy's doing, man, to bring forth, as I like to say, the truth of our past is stellar.
I always talk about him because I got his book right here, you know, and he's got a new one coming out.
You've got one, so I can call you when I need screenshots of particular information sent to me. Excellent.
Volume 2, which is about to be outdated.
They're an exceptional they're a rare item, dude. They're hard to come by. As soon as he puts them out, they're gone. Now to the point of what it is he's doing, he's a very humble man. I saw him on X earlier, playing the humility card when folks are talking him up, like any gentleman does. But what he's doing to help what I call narrative blindness, to stave it off, can't be overstated, because we were not taught about these native mound builders properly. My buddy Mound Lore, does a lot on X. He's doing the same thing, getting out there, what we weren't told. Well, when you get to this antediluvian stuff, okay, there was no book. I had Graham Hancock. Now, luckily, I had somebody that could write in a way that was fun to read, but could also document it so fucking thoroughly that, an obsessive retard like myself could feel pretty confident, in the information I had taken in, so I could kind of shut that little part of my brain up. So when I start seeing this stuff, and I'm seeing these big rocks, I've already got that nice anchor of an excellent researcher who had spent his life, researching this stuff. So that can't be overstated either. I had that, as part of my narrative blindness process, but then I had the joy of walking with, God, as I term it, right? Spirit, for those folks that like to use that word, right? But discovering this stuff and walking myself out of this. If I try to recount to you what happened the day I found that triangular mound, right? And then the day when I go back and I finally find that drill hole, I just collapsed on top. I mean, I literally just collapsed and fell back and was grinning, because I knew I was, all these things I had been thinking I was seeing. I was standing on it now. All right. Somebody piled this shit up. You got to tell me who. And, I was just so excited because I had walked myself through, and I kept going and kept going until I had found something that, for me and me alone, solidified my escape velocity from narrative blindness. Right. And I started going, there's other things here. And then you can see easily how, when you align that with the research of Graham Hancock, and you put that in your back pocket, you can start to see some weird shit in this state.
See weird shit all over the world.
Yeah, you really can, man. You really can.
Got a couple of pictures from when I was down in Peru that we can compare, like what you were seeing. I mean, you got all like the melting, fissures. I didn't see any of the metal veins of metal or anything like that, but just stuff like
the metal is weird. When you dive in, guys, to watching these antediluvian videos, you the one thing you get is every rock has got some metal in it. Maybe it's a round, maybe it looks like a bracket, looks like, it's everywhere. But it does, man, those little holes at the top, like you're showing there,
like Swiss cheese.
Yeah. And of course, it would have been in the younger, driest debris-filled boundary.
Little holes.
And I mean, it looks like a dragon claw just came down and scratched it, and then
doesn't it? Doesn't it?
Not to be too fantastical, but I'm just saying, visually speaking, pretty. I mean, that looks straight out of Lord of the Rings right there.
It is some weird shit. I think this was at Kenko, which is right above Saxuaman.
Yeah. See,
how many people would you say that much weight?
Add a little metal and some quartz rock, and you're in North Alabama.
Yeah. This one, I think it was only a few feet. It wasn't that tall. That one.
Okay.
Yeah, but stuff like that everywhere. Just, you can see the smooth parts where
that stuff's wild, man.
Yeah, and they're everywhere. But that's not to take away from what's above it, that melted looking.
Yeah, these smoothed out bits, these melted bits, these scooped out bits, these grooved bits, these doorways, these upside down stairways.
Yeah.
Could I present a hypothetical, especially Jeff, with what you've mentioned? Yeah. You're the one that taught me about how the old time way of harvesting metal ore would involve, building a fire and then casting water and breaking it off. Almost makes me wonder, that's kind of what you think. It comes off in pieces, chunks. If there was any sort of like mining, small scale mining operation, I don't
know.
Who knows,
that's fire setting.
Fire
is the
setting.
term for
Yes.
yeah,
Okay.
fire setting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They'd harvest the copper.
Yeah,
You're
that's
the one
when
that taught me
harvest
about
the
that. It's
copper.
pretty cool.
Yeah, and actually, what's interesting is when we were in Egypt, they were talking about the monoliths and how what they do is they do the same exact method of fire setting to get underneath the granite and break it away, but they were using stones. It was a dolerite or diorite to break it off. I don't know if I believe that because I don't know if we've seen the pictures of the one the monolith in the quarry still. Having a brain fart.
Yeah,
But anyways,
large,
it's like yeah.
it's really, really large motherfucker. Then when you could put a bus of school children on top of it and still barely see them. Yeah.
Wow.
That the Romans decided not to excavate. That's the one where are you talking about? Where are we at? Egypt?
Not Baalbek. The one
Baalbek,
in,
no.
still in oh well, it'll come to me. Aswan. Thank you, Mark. Yeah, the one in Aswan quarry still.
Nice.
Yeah. And
It's
brain fart because I'm focused on.
that's the best part about live, isn't it? I know we're all over the world.
8 different things at once, Jeff. No, no worries.
Here, this one's pretty interesting. Kind of like it has see how it's like leaning on there, kind of like with the wood you had.
Yeah.
And then they cut, but it looks like they cut the stuff out and then it leaned and fell into itself. Those aren't small rocks by any means necessary, by the way. These are all bigger.
Those, see, are insane. You know, they don't make sense. How do I say this? They don't make sense unless you start to let your brain try to rewind what happened a little bit, you know, and then you can sort of maybe try to make sense of it. Dude, that stuff is just so weird. I mean, what are they, you know, if you're going to explain to me what I see in front of me, Jeff, if you're going to tell me they did it to some naturally occurring stone, like you're going to tell me what then? This is a half tunnel, you know?
Right.
It's like you just can't start asking what's and whys without starting to see maybe this wasn't originally the way the stone was. Maybe it wasn't in this position when they worked.
I don't think it was, because it's not like you could fit someone in there and cut the backside off. And then why would you do that? You know, there's a lot of easier places. Clearly, I mean, actually, you think about it right here.
Dude, how hard is it to do that? That takes a long damn time. Yeah.
I mean, that'd be hard to do nowadays with what tools we have, let alone back then. You know, exactly.
Chisels. No, copper chisels.
Exactly. Just like the melted stuff in North Alabama that's leaning. You know, you've got to say it doesn't make sense. It had to be in another position. And that's when I start saying high energy, you know, along with high heat. You know, these things are moved. They're moved somehow.
Yeah.
Rue, while we're looking at the upside down staircase, I wonder if Jason could do up a clear, concise documentation of the odd stuff that he has found and then present it at someone in an effort to get it properly investigated. Rue, so far, Antediluvian Alabama and its 9 video catalog is my best attempt so far at getting them all documented. Now, in attempts of getting them investigated, look, if you watched Randall Carlson's interview with Graham Hancock last night and you saw me talk to him on stage for a little while, you heard him say he wants to come in the field and check this shit out with me. So Randall, that would be an honor and amazement. And I didn't hear that the first night, dude, if this word gets to you. But Rue, there's a lot of effort on my part, you know, under the radar to try to get attention to this stuff. I've just, you know, tried to go about it with the people I respect and the way you're supposed to. And yeah, so my best attempt so far, Rue, thank you for the question, is the 9 video set, guys. If you'll give that set a watch, you know, some of them are 5 minutes, some of them are 25, but I go through describing to you what you're looking at, and I try to walk you through what it is I think it is. Yeah, and so I'm just going to keep pushing, you know, being an independent investigator from there, Rue, and hope that the people that like these questions and that want to investigate them with me find me. You know, it's kind of what I'm doing.
Pretty cool.
All his links are down below in the description.
Yeah.
Yeah. Tony says Graham was on last night. No, they uploaded, I think it was on Randall's channel, Randall Carlson's channel. They uploaded their talk from QuestCon.
Yeah, in Arizona.
That's what Mike Wandering Wolf was calling it, because it's too many names. We're going to start calling it QuestCon. So we're going to call it QuestCon.
So I didn't even realize last night that's what they were airing, guys. Was they treated it as a premiere, but for those of us that were in Arizona, it was the chat between Graham and Randall that we saw, and then they were wonderful enough to go on forever with audience questions, really, and so I got to get up there and ask too. You know, they were just letting everybody ask whatever they wanted. They were engaging amazingly, and we had a great time. And nobody expected that to ever be showcased, but last night the guys dropped that. And they left everybody's questions into my memory, you know, darn near. It was amazingly kind of them to not only do it, but to also put it out last night. I've already had people come to my YouTube, you know, and find me, you know, hey, I saw you asking those questions last night. And so, yeah, that was a really, really cool thing that I was surprised by yesterday.
Now, you always got to love
when
you walked out the
door.
Right well, give credit to people coming up and their supporters. It's always so cool.
It is, you know, and to field any question, you know, to not know what's coming at you, you know, and to be willing to give air to crazy shit, insane shit, you know, just whatever people want to chat with you about is an amazing deal. You know, and that's what I'm trying to learn how, as I'm new in this podcast game, is to learn how to take advantage of this live. Ricardo and I played with it on our last episode of Shaman the Philosopher, and just doing Q&As, you know, with the folks that tune in. Because it's an amazing part to just, here's what I've learned, Jeff. I don't have all the answers. You don't have all the answers. Rue doesn't have all the fucking answers. Graham doesn't have all the fucking answers, right? Nobody, Flint Dibble doesn't have all the fucking, nobody's got all the fucking answers. But if we can all, you know, put our shit in our pocket for a second and look at what everybody brings to the table, you know, and get together, then we find we've got a lot. You know, the people that have come to me with, I won't mention her name because I don't know how far along she is in the production process, but there's this lady on X whose husband, who's passed, he was like a channeler, you know, things just came to him, right? And he was trying to write a book on the things that were coming to him because they're all about the Lady of Copachecue, which, if you're familiar with the De Soto Chronicles, was an encounter that Hernando de Soto had. And her husband has these books that are, it's incredibly detailed. You know, it sounds like somebody that was there was writing this stuff. And she says, listen, he would just, it came out of him. He didn't even know where it came from. No, I say that to say that that's what I've learned about doing this game, is this podcast thing, is that we need to engage with everybody, you know, because everybody's bringing a piece, man, you know, in this uncertain time that we all find ourselves in. Finding good people that are bringing pieces of the puzzle together is really what it should be about, I think.
Yeah, we always say the chat is king. Pretty much, they run the show. We're just here for the ride, pretty much. You know.
I'm just getting used to the chat. I've probably been terrible. I didn't even have it open half the night, you know, because my first, what is this, kind of 3-month podcast experience has been focused heavy on recording, you know, episodes, just so we could practice it. But yeah, sorry if I'm not doing great with it.
It's never possible to answer every question, but people are, it's great that they're putting them anyway. It's really cool to see.
Oh, yeah.
We are. There's several things in the works. Mention the Institute. There's Ricardo. Find him at History, Myths, and Legends. But the Institute of Natural Philosophy, of which I'm a voting board member, Ricardo is president. Lot of good things in the works. We've got a lot of projects we're going to start trying to fund, you know, find different ways, auctions, just putting things out that are not only projects of ours, but people that have come to us, you know, just as I came to the Institute and have projects worthwhile that need attention. You know, find the Institute, guys. That's kind of what we're trying to do, is what we're talking about here, is finding a place where people who have information that, right or wrong, right, is going to generally receive some pushback from what we recognize as mainstream, or what we could call academic, you know, or professional, you know, history and geology and all that. That's who we're trying to talk to, because as I learned, you know, I say this. I say higher education, and what we call higher education is often just expensive isolation from reality. And what I mean by that is sometimes these people get too obsessed with information, and with books, and then they miss a lot about reality. And finding these people that have this information about reality that for whatever reason, because it talks about a channeler or it talks about Antediluvian, that these people want to just shoot you down. Look at Vince, Barrows, who's doing a show with me bi-weekly now. And his research, man, people just Vince is used to firing a pistol. He's gotten good at it, because of just that knee-jerk reaction you get. Heather Arnold, shout out, does work. And, the first word out of her mouth is giants. Right? What's the first thing that happens to somebody that says that word? Oh, shut the fuck up. Right? In the mainstream school of thought. So
don't take that one out of context.
Right. Yeah. No. In the mainstream. Look, I think I'm on to giant bones with the Mobila site. One thing I didn't show you guys last time was the mound. We mentioned it, but I didn't show you the mound. Let's go to Share X real quick. So I've got it sitting at the top of that. And I'll show you this little mound here that I think's Tuscaloosa's son. And if it is, he was 7 to 7.5 feet tall, according to the chroniclers. X, share screen.
And they said proportion too, right? So not
well proportioned. Yeah, all the chroniclers echoed that over and over. They went into great detail about Tuscaloosa, how handsome he was, how well proportioned, eyes set like oxen, bearing and demeanor to match. They were praising the shit out of him, probably because he nearly kicked their ass. But all right, do you see X?
Yep.
Okay, so let's go to my highlights.
I saw that.
Yeah, my banner. Yeah, I try to lay it out.
Yeah, that's
front.
hilarious.
Yeah. Bring me anything real. The rest of it, I just please keep it at home, man. Okay, highlights. So right here, you're gonna see there's my Luna. There's the key artifact. That's Mobila.
Yeah, why don't you bring that up quick? I remember last week someone was asking to show it.
So this is me out gathering in Mobila.
I don't know, Luna. What do you think? To me,
Luna's dead.
Like a key.
Oh.
I think it's an old key.
So this is just me showing where I gather everything from in the Mobila story. Now, also in that exact region.
Yep, there it is.
So I kept going, and you can see how I find all this stuff, guys. There's a piece of ceramic.
Good morning from Pine Creek, Mobila, and the burial grounds. I just wanted to give you a shot here of more pottery. And more Spanish metal.
Now, what I'm standing beside right there, and what all this is washing out of, close this, operate just X. Yeah, there we go. And right here. Okay.
As you say, is at the back side of that mound.
So this is the mound, right? It's a crescent shaped mound. In my YouTube video, the presentation I did, I take you guys in the field with a cameraman, Nick from Occult Rejects. What's up, brother? Go check out Nick. He came and visited me and brought his cameras and his microphones. And so we have professional footage, very well done, of us going out here in this creek, which you just saw in the videos with me and Luna. And this mound. Now, the other artifact that goes along with this mound is this sucker here. This is right behind me, actually. It's been through a house fire since, so it got a little smoky. It didn't get burned. But it's fired clay. And if you look at that piece there in the middle, I mean, you can even see like where a fingernail, pressed into the soft clay before firing it. And you see this crescent. Let me press pause real quick. And what I'm going to tell you is, okay, if you can see back here faintly, the crescent mound. All right, so this is a representation of the mound on this sort of oddly sarcophagus-looking clay piece. And this even almost accidental appearing feature right here, what you realize when you go in this bowl in person, it's about 20 feet. When you're standing on the edge here and you go off in, it's about 20 feet straight, down. This bowl, when the creek, this secondary creek right here, when the water gets high, it will come in and fill this bowl. quite seems by design, because it's quite well represented here. Yeah, so we forgot to show that last time. You can find it on my X. There's lots of video of this thing, and I talk about it a lot. And I do take you out into the field, and we go look at this thing. Yeah,
I don't know. Yeah, I'm looking at that picture. I don't know if that on the fire clay on the clay piece there. I don't know if that little river looking thing's accidental.
that's
If
what
if you turn it sideways with the rest of the mound, you know.
Yeah, exactly. When you so you're north south here, you know, this is north, right? So when you do turn it right, I think it's representing, and that this aqua
Almost
feature
like,
was quite intentional. Now there's an X marker tree, guys. So right here, these two creeks, they flow down and they meet, you know, right down here. And I don't think I don't want to go find all the video. It'll take me forever, but I've got somewhere a secondary look at the X marker tree. There, stop sharing. Anyhow, there's all kinds of stuff on Mobilla. It's all in that presentation. Go find it, guys. I'm going to mess myself up here.
Careful what you click.
Right, exactly. But yeah, I'm real excited too. I'm trying to get all of this footage put together to where I can actually get a documentary out. I do have an editor who's volunteered a little time. You know, I don't know if you're in the chat. What's up, Logical Nathan? You know, when eventually I can figure out how to put all this together. But I'm not a pro, and I've got all the footage, and I've got separate sound. You know, because he brought his mics with him. So as Ricardo mentioned, I'm going to try I am trying to get it out in documentary form. But until then, if you see, you know, right there on my YouTube page, the presentation with Universe Unveiled, I did what I'm doing with you, but in recorded form, and I shared all this footage. So at least the footage from the field was in one place. Yeah, because pulling it up here, I don't think the quickest way, video file, share screen, if it lets me share that. Okay. Well,
No.
Oh, no, it's on my YouTube. Oh, I'm a dummy. Look right here. I think I set a secondary look, didn't I, at the marker tree? Didn't I somewhere?
I don't know.
Oh, my
see, I don't know if I remember ever seeing the marker tree.
Dang it. Okay, so it's not there. What is it? Yeah, right here. Closer look at the X marker tree.
You have to share it again then when you get it. Dries. So Dries, in the 1600s, the Spanish foot pie was shorter than an English foot. The Spanish version was roughly 0.914 of an English foot, about 10.78 inches compared to the English's foot. The English's 12 inch. Okay. Because he was asking earlier, Spanish or English feet.
They described, they said a vara. A vara is what the term they were using. A vara is roughly 3 feet, right? A yard, a meter. And they described Tuscaloosa, look at the spider. They described Tuscaloosa as half a vara taller than the tallest Spaniard. So your foot and a half, you know, is roughly what you're at. Now this tree, I'm coming up to it here in the center of the screen. This is just south of that mound, guys, where the two creeks meet. Now, this is one tree. You'll get a...
we don't have anything to show. There's nothing shared.
Oh, shit.
No.
Okay, so...
He's got to come back to us and hit share your stuff.
Hang on, I'm doing
it. Technology these days, hey?
Gotta love it.
Yeah,
gotta love
sometimes.
It, you know? Sometimes it's great, sometimes it's not so great. But that's all part of it. We make do, don't we?
Yeah, this isn't the future I was promised, though.
It's not. Where are the flying cars? That's what I want to know.
Yeah. Right? Where's the little robot that cleans my house?
Yeah. And other things. What?
Right. Well, that's coming soon.
And signing off, despite Logan and his rock finding right there from the southern end.
How about now, Jeff? Do you have visual?
Yeah, you're good. Sorry. I should have told you.
So I'll fast forward to where we were. And where the two creeks meet, just south of that crescent-shaped mound, you find this particular tree.
Gatekeeper, under we go.
I would not do well with that.
That's what you meant by look at the spider.
This tree.
one tree.
That's pretty neat.
Wrapped back around itself. Form an X. That's what I call the southern end of the Mabdullah complex. X marks the spot.
Okay, now I grabbed that because it was the quickest one. I have extensive video of that you can see in that production with Universe Unveiled on my YouTube page. I've also got it linked on my X.
Description.
In the description. I tour all around that, and you get Nick's commentary as well. And you see that is one tree that at its base, I mean, just guessing that size tree in the wild, I'd call 150 to 200 years old, that base, right?
Really? Something even like that, eh?
Yeah, it's
okay. Oh, it's that big. I suppose the video didn't really.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I mean, you got to watch the video
consistent.
where I walk back behind it. It's huge, you know, and it's wrapped, 2 inches above the ground back around itself. It's split in two and then wrapped. Anybody that studies marker trees, will be familiar. That I believe that was kept up, until obviously more recent contact. It had to have happened after the battle, and we know that Tuscaloosa made it north. He was out of there, but his son died in the battle. So for that information to have reached us means they had a body, because the Spanish identified him. So that means that afterwards, when the Spanish hightailed it, he would have been buried. And I believe that to have a mound of that construct with pieces, by the way, these pieces are washing out of it because construction, when you see that map, construction, when they bust up concrete or whatever, and they've got fill, they just dump it near the creek that's nearest where they're building the neighborhood. And they do that, and the creek slowly gets pushed over. And so the creek is now eroding the backside of that mound. Okay. I'd say it's taken a good 8 feet clean off of it. And all of this stuff is pouring out of it. Yeah, it needs help. It's also for sale. The land on which that mound sits is currently for sale, but because of Beaver Dam mentioned in the DeSoto Chronicles, the Beaver Pond, where they were washing all the blood off themselves, this land does not look like it's very suitable for building neighborhoods, so the neighborhood is being built all around it. Yeah, there's the mound. I forgot that last time, guys, so I did want to get that out there too. Since you mentioned
it. Beaver dams. Hey, well, there's a way. I better not say that.
Yeah, it's right under that bridge.
I'm gonna stop right there.
A very high energy method of taking.
Yeah, we'll talk about it after the show. But
kinetic.
What's up, Tree Buddy? I see you in the chat, Ryan.
Yeah.
How you doing?
We've got a lot of great people in chat today. Well,
Ryan's got a shitload going on in his own life, so I appreciate you as always, bro, hanging out with us.
I want to thank everyone for being here tonight. Too, and this is just
yeah,
froze up, Jeff,
for lack of better phrases, and I kicked out.
Oh, Jeff's kicking out.
You guys did too. We did.
It was
dual, but I don't know if you heard it. Am I good?
Yeah, I'm here. I'm getting you.
All right. No, I don't know if you heard what you heard, but I said for lack of better phrases, love this shit. You know, just finding stuff, just weird formations, all that stuff, artifacts, stories of the land that was and what came before, what happened, what in a state now. Like when I do my stuff, just taking an afternoon, or if I can get myself moving in the morning, take a whole entire day and get out somewhere. It's just no better way to describe it than just feeling, freeing. The only thing you have is probably I have no service most of the time, so I'm just me talking to my phone. To the video camera, and it's just nice, it's just quiet. All you hear is just the leaves and the birds, whatever else.
It is. I was watching when we started here. You play your little intro, and I'm watching your videos, and I was reminded then, of what first sort of drew me to you was I was seeing you doing, same thing I was doing.
Yeah.
Out there in what was your local environment, picking up on the anomalies and going, I'm going to go check this stuff out. I can't find a lot of information. So I guess that means I need to create the information, is what I saw you doing, and yeah, so it strikes a chord with me. And I was reminded when we saw, I was like, yeah, that's exactly why he and I first got drawn to you, because I just saw you doing what I was doing, man.
Yeah, I remember when we first started interacting through X, and then you started posting these videos and stuff. I'm like, what is that thing, your big circle? I'm like, what the hell is that? So I watched everything they had on X that I could find about it. So
there's a lot of stuff out there to find, and there's still so much. And like you say, I found sanctuary. I don't mention a lot, guys, but Rumble. I'm Shaman711 on Rumble. Also, you'll find
on Rumble.
you'll find a series called Finding Things Within and Without. I think it's up to 8 of them, and you'll find a lot of my backstory. You'll find me walking you through the woods and telling you that, Jeff, that is what saved my life. Was the thing is, got out there without the phone and without everything. The saying, you stare long enough into the void stares back. Well, as you said, I was talking, to my phone or to myself. Well, I spent long enough out there that, something started talking back, and I started engaging with it because I was confident the natives, lived that way. And they're when I studied the natives and I see the way they lived and the way they interacted with the environment, I went, all right, whatever was guiding them, there's some cool shit there. And I dove headlong into it, bro. As you see behind me, I try to bring it in, keeping me inside a house is a chore, I got
no choice right now.
Yeah. Even right now, the fact we're getting like 22 tonight, which is Fahrenheit, which is very weird for around here. So, I can't really stay outside, but yeah, I if I've got nothing to do, I'm outside, it's no better place to be.
Oh, that's awesome. I just wish more people would take advantage of it, especially if they live anywhere where they can drive a short distance or even walk behind their house and see
it's out your backyard, guys. If that Rumble series I mentioned, what's big on that and what I try to show in that series is that it literally started right out this back door right here. It literally started with me picking up a few things and going, a man touched this, and this is not a natural rock, and I needed something. I needed something to help distract me from all the shit my life was going through, and so I just started right there with that one question, man, and then I was off and running for the next 8 years of saving myself, but answering all these questions to keep me sane in the meantime.
Well, it's the thing too. There's so much opportunity around us. I think people learn in school probably more about Africa and Asia and all over the world, which is good to know, but then what's in their own backyard, than what they live amongst. You need to know what you live amongst,
That narrative that we got handed, Isaac, I don't mean to, man, I know I'm bad at cutting people off, but it's so exciting. No. It's so exciting to hear you say, it's this narrative we've been handed, dude. Yeah. We do not realize. You grab these DeSoto Chronicles, any one of them, and you read, and you're going to have something described to you that sounds like there were people everywhere. Right. Like they couldn't even, stretches of no people were the rarity. Right. So I just took them at their word. That's the other thing that I have mentioned to some of my academic friends, and I used to say more rudely, but that's the other thing, is just they discount firsthand narratives. Right. Whether you're talking Plato and Solon and all that bullshit, or whether you're talking the chroniclers that went through down the Amazon the first time, and they're writing about what they see and everybody's like bullshit. Columbus is writing there everywhere and everybody teaches me bullshit. Well, okay, guys, how come when I walk out my door, I can get you a pottery shard and a rock that came off a necklace? How come when I go to any construction site and give me 5 minutes, I'll come back with a bead and, how come if they weren't everywhere, like these first-hand accounts told us?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I have the privilege. I was homeschooled and here in New England too. So I had time and opportunity to, my parents emphasized checking local stuff out. And, all throughout the woods, stone walls everywhere, stacked stone walls, absolutely everywhere. And of course, we have it from colonial times, farming along field lines and stuff. But, out in the middle of the woods that were never agriculture areas whatsoever, people laid them there in rows and stuff. And they don't just happen to form there. So it's like I said, right in our own backyard. So it's good to know that stuff.
Yeah, guys, we'll echo again, Greg Little, if you're on any platform and you want to understand just how little we know and understand and are taught about these mounds and who these people were, go check his show with Wandering Wolf from this last week and you're going to get your education.
That was good.
And you'll see when you see this crazy guy now telling you, I'm fucking everywhere, you'll understand they really were. And they're just outside your door too, my message. That's what I started this recent ramble with, Isaac. That's where I'll end with too, is I just found it out my back door, guys. And I kept going and I kept going. And if you look at any of my work, all you see is a dude that was just showing all this shit he kept finding.
Yep. And taking the approach too of being a lifelong student too, always being eager to learn, not necessarily boxing yourself in. I'm a Christian. I have my core beliefs of things, my outlook on the world. But when it comes to the tangible, what's like we said, what's in our backyard, what's in our country, what's going on, the history here. There's a lot we don't know, and it's very fascinating. I'm learning more every week coming on here with Jeff, opening my eyes to like, whoa, a lot I was not aware of, to say the least. And it's pretty fascinating because we don't get taught this stuff mainstream whatsoever. So
we don't. It's a damn shame.
Yeah. Well, thank you, Jeff.
You're welcome. Absolutely, got you guys all in there.
Graham Hancock spoke America Before, and I saw I saw that cover and it said America Before, the key to okay, I need to read this.
I'm actually gonna finish that. I bought it and then I started reading, and he's like, as I mentioned in Magicians of the Gods, I'm like, I better go back and get that book. So Magicians, I said, as I mentioned in Fingerprints of the Gods, I gotta go get that book. As Eric Von Daniken mentioned in his book Chariots from Damn it! So I bought every single book in line that was mentioned about it. And R.I.P. Eric Von Daniken. Yeah,
how did Jeff become homeless and in crippling debt? Well, he's got a great book collection.
You should see my book collection. Yeah,
exactly.
I used to get made fun so much made fun of. This time period you're seeing me talk about going around flipping all these houses. Everybody around me then was just making fun of me because I did what you did. I'd read that America Before, and I went, all right, now I know somebody, and I got to go get all his books. And so for about a 6-month span, you did not see me unless there was like a hammer in my hand or I was directing somebody, at a construction site. You didn't see me without this book and without a pen, just going, okay, I see what I got to do now. And I absorbed all of those books, right? And just to plan it here, so that as it would have it, life would then move me to a weird ass triangle pile of rubble in the middle of Alabama. And I knew where to start.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, it's quite the journey when you crack, like you said, you crack that book that first time and you see, whoa, what am I missing? What's going on here?
Let me tell you something about those books. For those who have, I can show you something about those books versus academic material. Now, I was reading my DeSoto Chronicles version. This is the version put out by Vernon K. Knight and the University of Alabama Press. Now, I had learned from, hang on, I've got artifacts on it. Let me I had learned from reading Graham Hancock that footnotes are extensive, right? The appendices, look at whatever for all of this, the whole quarter of the damn book is just the notes, and the notes are just to tell you where to go for further information on everything the man wrote.
Yep.
Right? Okay. Now I go here. I got 2 footnotes, guys. You want to know where one of the footnotes is? It's on the part where they're describing Mabilla, the thing that the guys putting this book out are looking for. And the part where they describe Mabilla, they put a footnote, and the footnote says, other than the obvious exaggerations, okay, their footnote was to tell me that the primary authors, the firsthand accounts, were obviously exaggerating. Okay, now, to my friends in academia, I say that so you can understand now, a little bit of why I might take a researcher like a Graham Hancock versus, some academic who shows me their leanings in their work,
Yep.
Who isn't showing me the rigor, the personal investment, right? I don't care what you think of Graham Hancock's theories. That one book out of whatever 8, that one book has more fucking work, right, in it than I see in any other just about, thing you pick up. And that gives you a little bit about my learning about who these people are and how agendas influence things, and all of that.
No, it's a big world out there. We just gotta open our eyes. So.
It's a big world, man. We gotta open our eyes. And
you had something else to say?
Yeah, we did 2 hours, didn't we, man?
We did.
Yeah.
We nailed it right there. Thank
Well,
you.
I man,
very
thank
much
you,
for coming
dude.
on again.
Thank you, dude.
Yeah, it's been a lot of fun.
It's obvious I could do this all the time. So anytime, it's what I love, you know. And then we'll end with this, you know, what I hope I'm giving people is questions, but what I hope I'm also giving people is some hope, right? You know, I hope through these 2 videos with you guys, I gave you the big picture of it's not just about the evidence, you know, it's about what it took to sort of find the evidence and then that journey that's open for all of us. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Like everybody said, guy called me the other day out in the woods behind their house. Most can't conceive sitting anywhere other than the couch.
So this dude,
or back patio, yeah.
This dude sent me a picture of his Can I show it? So his office. Let's see if
it's up there. We'll see what he says.
I'm gonna put you on the spot, dude. Let me pull up what I get sent, so you can see where our friend works from sometimes. Where you at, dude? There you are. All right, I'm gonna pull away your info and I'm gonna show. This was today's office.
Ooh,
nice.
That's on location.
To do it.
Laptop, you know, got the homemade, I'm sure, wonderful herbal beverage that either you or your wife stirred up for you, taking care of yourself. But yeah, all the things you need, but just stacked up, ready to go because you want the woods around you, you know, at all times. Yeah, Ryan, I can't tell you enough about that dude. I won't tell you more about him, but that's a good dude right there.
Save it for when you do your streams.
Yeah. Oh, thanks.
Oh no, that's not how I meant it. I meant like, oh boy, that came off bad.
I understand what you're saying.
Would you shut the fuck up? So this is
well,
this is Isabella. They can't see your face. She doesn't want to. She don't want to show her face.
I don't blame her. Took me forever to do the same.
She just got off work. We're almost done.
Can you find me a C charger?
Yeah, C charger. I will. I'll bring it to you. Okay. All right.
Bye, guys.
Love you, baby.
Bye.
So Isabella just started a new job. She's whipped.
Nice.
How was it? Hostessing
for the minds
at a Tokyo Grill. Yeah. Customer service. You know, it's important that you experience. Love you, baby.
I've been in since I was 16 and I'm still doing it. So
yeah, my first job 15, customer service, you know, bussing tables. Yeah. You learn a lot about people real quick.
Oh yeah, I think it should be mandatory that everyone's a server at least once in their life.
Oh, now you remember that alcoholism I described? It was not helped by attempting to serve tables, bro.
Point.
Serving tables will drive you insane because people are insane, and that's what I learned waiting tables. They will end your world over a cup of ranch, you know, and you repeat that over 20 times in a shift. And no, sir, you needed a scotch to get through that.
So, all right. Once again, Jason, Shaman711, thank you for joining us again. This is fun. This is a lot of fun. I got to make my way down to Alabama and have you bring me to these places.
You're welcome anytime, brother. Not only, of course, could you stay here, but right there, man, where all this stuff is, I was showing these videos, that State Park Lodge, dude, it's like $80 for a double room. And when you walk out the door, you're in the woods on those trails and on those rocks. It's great. It's really easy. You know, nobody's ever there. It's Alabama. So anytime, brother, I'm your man. I'd be happy to.
Oh, yeah. Maybe we'll do an up north live field trip someday.
Yeah, definitely.
Get Isaac in there too.
Up north, gone down south. So.
Down south. Yeah.
There's several people, you know, that are planning trips around here, man, and I'm always open for it. And definitely, Jeff, anytime, I'd love to meet you again in person, bro.
I mean, Jeff, MegaCon's next state over.
That's right. You know. Yeah, March will be in Florida.
Yep, well, there you go. Yeah.
Where I had more time, I drive down and
Orlando.
make a few pit stops.
Orlando, yeah, that's a good 6.5 hour drive.
Okay. Yeah, we got MegaCon.
Oh, nice. What's that?
Bunch of nerds. Nerd stuff. I can't make it this year. Next year, hopefully, 27. I hope. But
keep breaking up.
Well, your shirt, Jeff.
Geeks and gamers. Yeah, I see that.
Some gamers and their meetup last year. So
where the eye dots are the 199. Get a
Yeah, the
little nerdy.
199,
It's all right.
Critical Drinker, you had Nerdrotics on there, all sorts of people. But it's just a big, huge nerd convention where all the people that have met through the YouTubes
Yeah.
come together, party.
We may be a little offensive once in a while, politically
A little?
incorrect, but that's all right.
Yeah.
As my people, I'm older than you guys. So back when I was doing it, it was Dungeons and Dragons and Nintendo, the first one, but yeah, that geeks and gamers crowd, as you call it, was, I was often next to the movie theater. You had one of those stores, that had all the D&D board games and all the little figures you could get and paint to be your character and all the dice. Yeah. I love the geeks and gamers myself, man.
Awesome.
Hell yeah.
Awesome. Yep.
Yep, my boy, I don't know if I broke up, but we were talking about MegaCon. Yep. You should go if you can make it, even though it's quite a jaunt for you. California. He's in California, but
Are you, Isaac?
No,
not
Mag
Isaac,
Warriors.
no,
I'm up in.
Mogwai. Mark.
I'm just up
Mogwai.
on the.
Okay,
I'm on the northern half of the.
That's
East
what I
Coast,
thought
so
you were
it's a great
saying.
drive.
Yeah.
I
I thought we'd mentioned Appalachia.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we're gonna wrap her
Yeah.
up there. Isaac, I know you got to get going, so we'll do your outro quick first. Where can people
Yes, sir.
find you, and what do you have coming up, buddy?
Well, I've got a channel getting pretty close to 500, so I'd appreciate if people could subscribe. Gonna actually be in the GCA Discord. ABF reminded me we're gonna be watching Tremors. Never seen that movie. Watching it for the first time.
I'm gonna
of
join
us.
you guys.
Yeah. So if you're not in there, join the GCA Discord. And this Monday night, my channel 7:30. No, modified 8 p.m. Eastern. Gonna be having Jay Drunk 3PO and the Angry Badger on as guests. Gonna be talking some current events and Daughter's Revenge, Jay's new book coming out. So.
Ooh.
Gonna be having fun, and as I said, we're watching Tremors in the GCA Discord right after this, so that's where I'll be.
Oh, I'm gonna join you.
And again, thank you, Jason. I really appreciate it. We're learning a lot. It's enjoyable having you on, so thank you.
Isaac, thank you very much for having me on. Let me come invade your space with, my energy. I'm very new at presenting all of this, and so I myself am just very personally grateful, man, for the opportunity to be able to present it with two dudes I like and trust, and just sort of get my handle around how people, how I can best present it. Have guys like Rue, yelling at me the whole way. So I'm honored.
Someone's got to keep us in check.
Exactly. So really, I'm grateful, Isaac, to you. It's been a pleasure hanging out with you, and I do hope I get to hang out with you again soon on whatever platform, mine, yours, or anybody's, man. This has been
100%,
great.
100%. Yeah.
All right. Well, if you gotta get going, Isaac, and head on over there. I'll be there shortly.
Yeah, I'm gonna be down there, and I'll catch you guys next week. Have a good one,
Sounds
guys.
good.
God bless. Thank you.
Thanks for joining, man. Hey, we'll talk to you later. All right. Go follow Isaac on X.
Please go follow Isaac.
Yeah, go sub on
500.
YouTube.
Get him to 1,000. You can probably go to work on getting me to 200 while you're getting him to 1,000.
Yeah.
But definitely,
Yeah, you go follow.
we've got to stick
Man of the
together.
Hour. Man
We
of
got
the
to
Hour
stick together.
Jason right here.
Yeah, come check me out if you want. You've
what
seen what I got. Ricardo's in the chat, so I'll do Ricardo a favor. And our show, the Shaman and the Philosopher. So we are still recording. We're recording some guests. Recording one this weekend. But I think what we're going to try to do is get a little experience with this live format, and use our Sunday night format going live a couple of times, as long as he's okay with that, like we did last week, and get better at it, and get better at not ignoring you all in the chat. Thank you from the bottom of my heart, guys, for coming out. Having people that have been following me for a long time join me, all along this process as I learn to get my confidence, learn to present this stuff. You don't know what it does, guys. So thank you all very, 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 very much.
I mean, I couldn't have said it any better than that. you got it. Thank you so much for everyone out there that watches, that tunes in every week, that watches the videos.
That's it. That's how we're gonna do it. All sticking together, man.
Yeah, I'm not ignoring. I am getting your links up for the.
Oh, please. Yeah, I'm getting used to all this, man. It's fun and it's such a blessing to have people that will come along with us on this journey, just like I went on this journey finding all this shit. Now I'm going on this journey learning how to podcast, to interview, to community build. So we couldn't be grateful enough for everybody out there that helps us keep doing that.
Absolutely.
And is a part of it and wants to be a part of it.
Yeah, I look forward to this every week. This and then my other show with Andy and his brother Willie on Fridays. Drink Up, different channel, but DrinkU.P. But no, it's an absolute blast doing this stuff.
Yeah, I've got to come check out your next drink, Jeff. You've been an amazing supporter. You've come over to the Shaman and the Philosopher. I think I've seen you say hi in the chat at least every show. So definitely, I want to come check out you and learn from you, man, because you're I see you're kind of where I am. You know, you may be a little further along in time, but just working our way through how to do this media stuff.
Oh, I'm still learning. Trust me.
Yeah.
I second guess every single thing when I'm making a video. I second guess everything. I was like, yeah, should I said it like that?
Same. I am not far removed from that barefoot fucker in the woods that couldn't keep a cell phone on him. So yeah, taking the tech there's a learning curve, but I'm getting there thanks to people like you, Jeff, and thanks to all our friends out there with us.
I appreciate that. Hey, if there's anything I can do that I might have any knowledge on, let me know.
Oh, we're gonna see each other again. I'm not even worried about saying how. We're gonna see each other again on our platforms, and I know I'm gonna be showing you around Alabama at some point, dude.
Hell yeah, yeah, long way. I feel that. Hell yeah, I cannot wait to make my way down there. Like I said, if I had more time on the way down to Florida, I'd be making some pit stops. I'd have to stop and see you for a day. I'd be going to see Cody from East 10.
Yeah, he's just north up in Tennessee. That's 3.5 hour drive. We get you up around I think Knoxville or so. That's where he is. But yeah, there's a lot of good friends we're making.
Yeah, that's another thing that this whole thing does is it brings people together that it never would have otherwise even known about. I mean, yeah, we watch the videos and stuff, but I mean, when people put on the conventions and the conferences like we had with the QuestCon, and even MegaCon, I mean, it brings people together that have been talking to each other online through a keyboard for how many years? You know, even if it was a short amount of time, still brings them all together, and you make those connections, make friendships and stuff like that. It's a lot of fun.
Correct. Yeah, I will end it with that, Jeff. I did a commercial for you, and he called me a good hype man, and I said, okay, thank you, but I was just talking about my buddy, and that's the way
another one of those came out differently in my head than it sounded in text, but
yeah, text is hilarious. I knew exactly what you meant, bro. Yeah, I was messing with you back.
Those are awesome. No, I appreciate the kind words as always, man. But we're gonna wrap her up right there. So all the links for all the channels and other separate videos should be in the description of the video. Hit that like button. I know people love when you say that. And subscribe, please.
Subscribe, like and subscribe to Jeff up north. Like and subscribe. There, we said it.
Go do the same thing for this guy over here. Come on. Let's get Shaman some subs. Philosopher and the Shaman and the Philosopher.
Shaman and the Philosopher podcast has its own dedicated YouTube page. Yep, that's it.
Go give them a sub, like all their videos, even if you didn't.
Universe Unveiled, my sister podcast.
Universe Unveiled, yes, absolutely. So many good stuff.
And now say goodnight, Gracie.
Good night, Gracie. We'll see you next time.